Hey there, people. This is English Sheriff speaking once again. What are we doing today? It's very simple. I'm going to give you feedback for all kinds of opinion essays. What does that mean? When you think of an international exam like TOEFL IBT, task 2 is your independent writing, which is mainly about asking you to write an opinion essay. And the task 2 for the Ielts is the same. So they ask you to write down an opinion essay. And in many other proficiency exams, like, EPE, PAE, and many others, you are tested for this independent writing task. So I decided to give you feedback for an opinion essay. And I have an anonymous paper here. So the doer of the action is not known. The writer is anonymous. He's not known or she's not known. So let's start speaking about the feedback. How do we start an independent writing task, an opinion essay? The answer is very simple. You can start simply by asking a question, but an interesting one. So when you ask the question, it functions as a hook. And that hook will be the interesting question that will, connect you to your reader. Here, the writer has tried to give you an example for that. Let's see how much it works. Have you ever known that? Why people commit crimes? This apparently doesn't work because of the wrong grammar. If you ask the question like this, have you ever wondered why people commit crimes? That will be a good hook for you to start your opinion essay. For many centuries, people had been faced with a lot of problems. This is the second sentence. And again, it's very problematic because of the grammar used. The first mistake here is it's a past perfect tense, but don't use a past perfect tense if you don't have another simple past tense with you. So, like for example, if you have two simple, two past events, and if one event happens before the other event, you can use a past perfect tense for the event that happens earlier, but don't use it if you don't have such kind of a situation. So go like this. For many centuries, people have used a present perfect tense. People have faced a lot of problems. Don't use with, because we normally use with the expression have come face to face with a lot of problems. So you can use it accordingly. Or you can go like this. For many centuries, people have faced a lot of problems. So omit with. Omit with. Another one, for many centuries, people have encountered a lot of problems. Use the word encounter here. So 2 sentences accomplished so far. The third sentence, each societies, sorry, but it's grammatically incorrect. Don't say each societies. Society is here, it's plural. Each is used with singular. So go like this, each society. Statue is not the word you're looking for. I think the writer here is trying to say status. Status is about your position in the society. So if you say different status, you'll be safe. Each society and different status or affected them doesn't make sense. You have to go with an active sentence, not a passive one. So don't say are affected them. Go like this, each society and the different status in it. So in it would make it more meaningful. Each society and different status in it affect them. and you're going to be safe. Their problems can relevant. You have to add a verb after can. Problems can be relevant to their family life. Educations, don't use educations, go with education, use it in a singular form, or genders. Again, go with gender, don't say genders. Let's keep going. Today, I want to talk about some important reasons about commit crime for me. Your sentence is grammatically very incorrect because there are plenty of mistakes there. Let's start to talk about how we can fix it. Go like this. Today, all right, today is okay, acceptable. I want to talk about, don't say I want to talk about. Don't use an I subject. Instead, go like this. Today, you don't even have to say today, by the way. Just start like this. This essay will be mainly about some important reasons. Don't say about again, say why. So, this essay will be mainly about some important reasons. Why? And then you need a subject. Why people commit crime? Or why people commit a crime? Or why people commit crimes? And that will be acceptable. Again, the next sentence, I think that the main solution about this topic, come back to past doesn't make sense, and go to family life. As a Turk, I understand what you're trying to say. So you are trying to go back to once a person's past for the solution. But in order to come up with a good sentence, I want you to follow this one here, this line, until here. Look, can be traced back to one's own past and his family life. If you say it this way, your sentence will be highly acceptable. Can be traced back to one's own past and his family life. So use passive traced back. So I'm going to the sentence. So what do we say here? Okay, topic is come back about this topic. So you can go like this. I think that's the main solution about this topic. Don't say about, by the way. The main solution for this topic, use for, don't use about. The main solution for this topic can be traced back to the past or to one's own past and his family life. I think we're now safe here. A teenager who doesn't have a family is inclined to commit a crime. Your problem here is your spelling is wrong. Don't say commits with an E in the end. Just say commit without this E. To commit a crime and drug use. Don't say drug use, but think about this two here. To verb and to verb. So go like this. To commit a crime and use drugs. So change these. Change the places of these. Use first, drug second, and use drugs and make it plural. It's not pose a problem that doesn't make sense. Don't use a verb like pose and emizar like this here. Don't use it like that. This is a typical mistake. So go like this. It won't. Use won't, or it doesn't. Go like this. It won't pose a problem for them because they have no something or someone to lose from their hands. I understand what you're trying to say here, my friend, but actually you're trying to say something like this. Get rid of everything here. Get rid of They have no something or someone to lose from their hands. Get rid of it all and say this sentence. Put this sentence instead. They have nothing to lose. And meaning, accomplished. Structure, accomplished. Okay, good. So let's keep going. Because these people generally go with a lack of education and they work in bad conditions. Okay, lack of income, all right, I'll take it. And the others, financial difficulties are not give. Again, the same mistake. Don't use are not and the verb. Don't use is not and the verb like this. Don't use am not and the verb like this. Are not give, don't say won't give or don't give any chance that living in peace. That doesn't make sense again. Do not or won't give any chance. Instead of that, go with to here live in peace. I can make it look much better, but I'm trying to fix your grammar mistake here. So they have no other alternatives. They live in bad neighborhoods. Okay. So I think so far we talked about the introductory paragraph. And then we talked about the first body paragraph. But your problem here is it's all very confusing. Where does your intro end? Okay, your intro, look, your intro ends here. Yeah, because you talk about, you have your thesis statement here, which I worked on. And then your intro starts with I think that. Again, you're trying to use I think that, I believe that. Okay, from time to time it's acceptable, but I'm like I told you before, try to minimize your use of I subject. And then, what should we talk about? In the second body paragraph, you talked about the first reason of crime. Yeah, so the reasons why people commit crimes. So that's basically what the opinion essay is all about. And then let's go with the second reason. The second reason that I want to say, all right, you're trying to come up with your second reason, but don't go with I again. And you don't say a reason, you give a reason. So go like this. The second reason that's acceptable, and go like this. The second reason that can be given, make it passive. The second reason that can be given is, and that will be very acceptable. The second reason that can be given is highly educated people. That'll be very acceptable. Is highly educated people. They commit embezzlement, all right, because they're not afraid of getting caught. Getting caught. They commit embezzlement because they're not afraid of getting caught. Acceptable. So you have given your reason. Here is the number of highly educated people. But the problem is, highly educated people, is that a reason, by the way? You know, we're trying to say something else here. We're trying to give a reason. They commit embezzlement because they're not afraid of getting caught, because they are sure that they can hire a good lawyer, so they're careless about the law. They live in good life standards, they're successful in their job, and no one, and here, and no one cares, at S here, about their crime. This is more dangerous. In this situation, justice and equality notions are disappeared. This is a very typical mistake in English. Don't use the verb disappear in passive form. I repeat, don't use the verb disappear in the passive form. Don't use happen in the passive form. Don't use die in the passive form. Yeah, I can give you a longer list later on. Okay, so what do? Instead of are disappeared, use it in an active form and say disappear, or use an idiom here, vanish into thin air. That will be highly acceptable. And finally, the other reason of crime is a tech educated person. Okay. So what are you trying to say here again? The other reason of crime is a high-tech educated person. Again, is this a reason of crime? So because like high-tech educated person, I'll take it and I'll accept it. But is that a reason of the crime? Or should you find something that will make it relevant to a reason of a crime? You know, why do those tech educated people commit a crime? What makes them do so? You need to go for a reason like that. So that's why this topic sentence could be a little bit problematic for your information. These people have, I think you're trying to say technical here, technical, but this doesn't work because technical is not spelled like this. Technical, go like this, T-E-C-H-N, and I and C, but no I here. And go with A and L. Technical education, and they commit cyber crimes. They commit this crime, which secretly doesn't make sense. Which secretly does not make sense. And I understand what you're trying to say to some extent, but you know, your vocab, your grammar, your word use, vocab use is wrong. So I'd like to take you here and follow the arrow. Look, alternatives. Instead of saying with secretly, get rid of this with and say secretly, or go with on the tiptoe, or on the tiptoe, on the tiptoe, or go with by devious means, by devious means. Go with number 4, covertly, covertly, or go with number 5, under the counter. They all mean secretly. I have given you all the alternatives, but don't use it. It's grammatically and vocab wise incorrect. They are not realized their crimes. Again, a typical mistake. Don't use MSR with a verb, with a simple verb like this. They won't realize their crimes, or they don't realize their crimes. That will be acceptable. Excuse me for that. What else? Because violence is not just happen for physically. Doesn't make sense here. I understand to some extent what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say here, or what you're trying to say here is this. Because violence does not only happen on a physical level. You know, violence does not only take place on a physical level. Is that what you're trying to say? I guess so. I guess that's what you're trying to say. Cyberbullying is psychological violence, and it's crime, and people are not realize. Again, the same mistake. Oh, come on. Don't use are not and realize like this, you know, MSR and the simple verb with no ing, don't use it. So instead say won't realize or don't realize the problems to what? Problems importance. Oh, you're trying to say do not realize the importance of the problem. Or you can say something like this: do not realize the gravity of the situation, or the gravity of the problem. I want you to follow this one, this hand here. People don't seem to understand the gravity of the problem or of the situation. If you say it, it will be accepted. Yeah, it will be very well embraced. Oh my God, that's a hell of a saying. I love that saying. Yeah. All right, what else? So these behaviors have correspond and it ends up with punishment. That doesn't make sense. I honestly don't know what you're trying to say here. These behaviors don't correspond. These behaviors don't correspond or won't correspond. That might make some sense, but not this one. and it ends up with punishment, I'll take it. You can say that it ends up with punishment. I'll take it. I think so far so good. You talked about the reasons here, and for a conclusion, I mean, this is basically or mainly about the intro, what we should do about an introductory paragraph, and the first body paragraph, and the second body paragraph, and the final reason. Well, actually, you can end it with finally and write down a conclusion, but I'm telling you, you can go with 3 reasons like this, like in this one, because you've come up with 3 reasons. And in your conclusion paragraph, you can think of, this is an essay without a conclusion paragraph, but in your conclusion paragraph, you should restate your reasons and come up with a final thought. How should I do that? You can go like this to put it in a nutshell or to sum up. Well, the main reasons of crime, or the main reasons of committing a crime are, and then you go with your reasons. And write down a final comment, like, you know, what should the government do to stop this kind of crimes? So it's like a future reference. You're trying to give a message to the people, to the authorities who want to fix the problem. That's the idea. Thank you so much. I hope this opinion essay feedback will come in handy for everybody who'll be taking the TOEFL exam, the Ielts exam, or many other kinds of proficiency exams like EPE and PAE and many others. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.